Does Krav Maga work? So, this is a question I get asked a lot of times since I hang around with a lot of people who are into combat sports, MMA, Jiu Jitsu, Judo, Taekwondo, and stuff. All right, so does Krav Maga work? Obviously, it does, which is why it is the chosen form of combat taught to the Israeli defense system, to the Mossad, and to defense forces around the world. All right. What is unique about Krav Maga is that it takes the most efficient techniques, most practical techniques from every martial art, every combat style possible, and integrates it into one fighting form. All right. Krav Maga has no restrictions. If you see a true Krav Maga fighter at the topmost level, you'll see that they train in multiple disciplines. But at the end of the day, they coagulate it all into Krav Maga. In Krav Maga, your goal to say is survival. You don't want to stand in a ring, go face to face with someone, and then come out, oh, yes, I'm the winner once the referee intervenes and stops the fight. Right? You want to either avoid the fight and survive, or you want to quickly end the fight and survive. Either ways, you want to survive. All right? There are no rules, there are no regulations, there is nothing that is not allowed unless as a civilian, you're not allowed to kill people. But you want to take every advantage possible to win the fight. And most often, the first person who gets to a weapon or gets away sort of wins the altercation. And that is what Krav Maga focuses on: quick engagement and quick dissociation from the situation, right? If I have an option to quickly disengage from a fight and pick up a stick or a stone to end the fight faster, I will do that. So there's a statement which is, I think, belongs to the US Special Forces. It's called Semper Fi, right? Your mind is a weapon, and that is pretty much as Krav Maga as it can get, actually. All right, it's close quarters combat using anything and every means necessary to survive and get out. All right, in Krav Maga, you're dealing with multiple attackers. You're dealing with common attacks that you are most likely to face. All right, you're not dealing with people who know to evade a situation, counter attack, and you counter attack that, and you counter attack that. The reason Emil Eichenfeld, the founder of Krav Maga, was so against Krav Maga being competitive is because once you turn something into a competition sport, it always becomes about counter movements. All right, you're always trying to score points, you're always trying to counter this movement, counter that movement, and it's an endless loop of countering, and the essence of the fight for survival is lost, which you can see very clearly happened with jiu-jitsu. I personally love jiu-jitsu. All right, I'm addicted to it. All right, and but I'm not blind to the fact that this happened in jiu-jitsu. Right, jiu-jitsu started off as a form of combat. But then later on, when it started being propagated as a sport, if you see sport jiu-jitsu, it is not very practical for combat. It's not very practical for fighting. All right, people are running after points, 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 and there are so many high-level jiu-jitsu practitioners who actually wouldn't survive a fight situation. All right, so if you get so involved with a sport and you get chasing points, you forget the essence of what you're learning what for, right? When you're learning Krav Maga, you need to keep in mind you're learning to survive. You're not learning to get into a ring with someone and find out who can counter each other better and come out on top, right? So that is the point of Krav Maga, which is why Krav Maga works. It's effective, all right? Like in advertising, there are the FEs, the awards given for effectiveness, and there are the Khans, the awards given for how creative an ad is, right? Huge difference between the two. A creative ad might not always be effective, right? Similarly, Krav Maga focuses purely on effectiveness. It does not focus so much on, wow, what a movement this is, what fancy technique this is. There are no fancy footwork, there are no fancy kicks, there are no fancy techniques as such in Krav Maga. It is everything that you can pull off with the least amount of technical superiority. Yes, technique does come in, but at the most foundational level, it's very basic, it's very driven, it's very focused on you being attacked by someone who is much superior and you still turning the tables on that person. Because most of the times when you're attacked in a scenario, it's always a person who takes you for being a victim or takes you for being weaker, right? A mugger is not going to mug you because he thinks you can fight back. A mugger is going to mug you because he thinks he can easily mug you. A bully is going to bully you because he thinks you can be bullied and that you won't stand up to him, right? And that is how it is. There are no weight classes in Krav Maga. You're always going up against someone who assumes you are an easy victim or an easy target. And you being able to turn the tables on them and evade the situation and get out and survive is what matters, and that's what Krav Maga teaches you. So, which is why Krav Maga really works. It uses only things that works and drills it and drills it and drills it till you become capable of survival. And that is why I personally love Krav Maga. According to me, Krav Maga is a foundational skill that should be taught to everybody. Everybody should know at least the basics of Krav Maga, right? It's a life skill. It's not a sport, it's a life skill. And because Krav Maga is taught in such a way that it does not focus on intensive drilling over and over again too many times a week, right? When you're teaching it to beginners, the level of injuries is lesser. So people who are not very strong or not very robust, not very athletic, also can learn it and start. It gives you a stepping stone that is possible for everybody. All right. Unlike most of the martial arts, which directly favor the highly skilled, the young and strong, the athletic, and that's why you see this sort of divide happening in mixed martial arts gyms, where the strong get stronger and the weaker eventually give up and get out. Very few weak people will withstand the barrage of an MMA training gym over and over again and stay in it for years together. But Krav Maga is usually structured in such a way that even the weakest link survives, trains, and eventually gets better. And that is why Krav Maga is a great thing to start learning, and it gives you a brilliant foundation stone for your self defense and martial arts journey. And it's a great life skill to have on your side. So, you tell me if you agree with me or not. You do your own research, you find out, and if you have any counterpoints or anything to say regarding what I just told you, please feel free to write back to me or talk to me about it. I'm always happy to have a genuine, honest discussion, because I myself am always still learning. All right, I do Krav Maga, I do BJJ, I do Muay Thai. I used to do judo a bit, and I'm always trying to learn whatever works best. All right, keep an open mind, and I hope you have a great time. And see you sometime learning Krav Maga too. All right, take care. By the way, I take classes for Krav Maga in Delhi and Gurgaon. So if you guys are looking for classes in Delhi and Gurgaon, drop me a message. I'll be happy to teach you guys. All right, take care and see you around.